Hello, this is part 2 of learning the signs for In Christ Alone. We're doing the second half of the song here. And actually, most of the new words were in the first 2 verses. So this will be a little easier, I think. Okay, so it's there in the ground his body lay. So point over there in the ground. We learned that in the first verse with dirt and then showing the level dirt. His body lay, so we've got his body lay. Okay. Light of the world by darkness slain. So light, we've seen that before. Of the world with W's. By darkness, you can leave off the by if you want or spell it. By darkness, darkness is both hands coming like this in front of your face. It's like veiling your face, preventing the light from coming in. So that's darkness. For slain, you take a finger, or sometimes I've done it with a K as well, a finger, and you go underneath. It's kind of like you're stabbing somebody that was hiding down there. I don't know. Just kind of making up where that might have come from, but anyway, so slain. Okay, and that means killed, same thing. Okay, then bursting forth in glorious day. So then, remember that sign from last week. So then bursting forth. So there are different things you could do for this. So you can burst forth like that. I kind of turn it into a light sign, like that, coming, just bursting out and bursting forth in glorious, remember the sign for glorious, and then day. Okay, this is the sun coming across the sky for day. And we also learned before today, now day, that means today. Okay, we're not signing that. In this one, that's just a related sign that we do. Okay, so in darkness slain, then bursting forth in glorious day. Up from the grave he rose again. So for up, I take a U and go up. From, if you want to do from, you take X's and you put one behind the other like this and bring it back. It's like this X is coming from the other X. I'll show it to you from this angle. From. So it's up from the grave. Remember the amount of dirt for grave. He rose, and then again. I think we've had again before. Again. Okay. And as he stands in victory. Now, again, this as, we have to think about what as does this mean, and it's while. So, and as, or while, he stands. You can leave off the in if you want to. Victory, remember our V's. So we have, remember, celebrate, we have triumph or win. You have all of those things. So with victory, we've got that. So as he stands in victory, sin's curse has lost its grip on me. So we have sins. For curse, I usually do this. It's like you're cursing with your mouth, and it's not a good thing. So his curse has lost its grip. So you grip on me. Grip or hold. Grip. And you're holding tight. Okay. For I am his and he is mine. Okay, so we'll do it literally first. So, and then we'll talk about translation. So for, you just take your index finger. We've had that before. For I am, this is one place where I might actually use the sign am, his, and he is, with the I, mine. Okay, you can also, make things simpler and say I, his. You can even do this kind of motion where, you're connected to him like this. So I am his, he is mine. You could even do some of each. You could say, you know, I am his and he is mine, like that. So I haven't actually decided how I'm going to do it, but there are options for interpreting something like that. Okay. Bought with the precious blood of Christ. So this is bought. We've had that before. It's where you, like you've got money here in your hand and you're giving it out. You're buying something. Okay. Bought with, for precious, it's kind of like this. The precious blood. We had that sign before. Blood of, you can leave out, and then Christ. Okay. All right. No guilt in life, no fear in death. All right. So this is the no as in none. This is yes and no, but you wouldn't use this kind of no to say no guilt, because that kind of no guilt means there is no guilt, none, not, it's not a yes or no question. Okay, so it's no or none. Guilt, you take a G and tap twice. Guilt. No guilt. In life, no fear in death. So in life, no fear in death. Okay, this is the power of Christ in me. So again, you can do this if you like. You can do is if you like, or you can leave that out. This is the power. Remember, you take a P and you accent your muscle. Mine are real powerful. The power of Christ in me. From life's first cry to final breath. So here we go. Here's our from again. Our X's, where you go from, the back X comes from the other X. From life's, okay, we'll do first and last. So this is first. I think we've looked at this before. First, and then this is last or final. Okay, so we've got from life's first cry to final breath. So that's two, which you could leave out. Final or last breath. Jesus commands my destiny. So here's Jesus. For commands, I do this. This is, remember we looked at the 10 Commandments. We looked at the will of God. We looked at law. So those are all related signs. We also did New Testament and Old Testament. But this is command. You might choose to use lead for that. You know, Jesus commands my destiny or leads my destiny, if you prefer to interpret it that way. So I usually do command, since that's the actual sign, the actual ASL sign for command. My destiny. So what I would do is my future. You might, I saw somebody do leads my life. You know, you can do that too. I prefer commands my future. Okay. No power of hell, no scheme of man. Okay, so again, we have no power. Now for hell, I've seen different things. I've seen just like taking an H down like this. I always learn to do it this way across the arm, because if you just do a flat hand or a B, that's like to punish. Like if you want to punish a child or discipline a child or somebody, or condemn with a C. And so I learned hell with the H. And then sometimes if you have time, you can add a little fire to it. So it's not necessary, but it kind of gets the point across. But I've also seen just an H like this. Okay, so I'll be doing that. No power of hell, no scheme of man. So it's no, for scheme, it's a plan. So remember, plan is to go like this with your hands up. If your hands are flat like that, that's carry or bring. And we're not carrying anything. We're talking about a plan. It's like, you know, you've got this plan. Everything is lined up as a plan. And you don't have to do it that many times. And in a song, you don't have time to do it that many times. So you just bring it over. So that's plan. And then man is a male fine. This is a sign for fine. You take your 5 hand when you put your thumb here. So a lady would be a female fine. A man or gentleman would be a male fine, like that. You might see it with the boy sign and then fine rather than just the thumb for the male. But I usually do male fine. Okay, so that's man. Can ever pluck me from his hand. So here's our can. Ever, you could do a little circle like that. So could ever pluck me, there's our from again, his hand. Okay, I only do this once. If it's hands plural, I do this hand and then the other hand. Hand, hands, or just hand. Okay, till he returns or calls me home. So here's our until again. Until he, and then I would do this, returns. Or is the same thing as then. So I don't know of any difference. Or, which you could leave out. Calls, remember this is calls or sends. Calls me. Now again, you could literally do home is the place where you eat and sleep. Or since this is heaven, calling me home is taking me to heaven, I would say calls me and do the sign for heaven. Okay. Here in the power of Christ I stand. So that's again here in the power of Christ I stand. And then it repeats till he returns or calls me home. Here in the power of Christ I stand. There. So that's the entire song. Be sure you've watched the first part to know the first 2 verses, and we'll do the song to music.